Hey YouTube, I'm Kenneth Ryan.
And I'm Lindsay Resop.
And we're here with another exciting episode of Fanfiction Friday, where we are continuing to read Clockwork. Today we will be reading Chapter 3. It's very exciting. And we're going to bad therapy our way into this chapter. That's my pun, you're welcome.
How is that a pun?
We're going to start now.
Okay.
Clothes shopping, for the record, bored Gold to death. It was always time-consuming, and no one really gave a shit if you looked good or not. He hated it. But there was something rather humorous in watching Green coaxing Silver into colors he never would have worn otherwise.
Oh, God.
Stuff like purple and green.
With his red
and
hair?
God forbid, many different tones of lime green.
Oh, here.
Green didn't know that lime didn't go well... Or didn't Green know that lime didn't go well with dark red hair? Honey! Queer eye for straight guy or whatever. That's what Gold's doing right now.
Thing, yeah.
That's what Gold's doing right now. He's like, doesn't he know that lime green just doesn't go with red? Let alone bright lime, capital letters.
How is lime not bright?
Right? Have you ever seen dull lime? I'm sorry, it's just a really funny concept.
Dull lime.
Okay, guys, I'm just tired. Gold considered throwing something. This was a major fashion disaster waiting to occur right here, right now. Gold would do anything to prevent that. But because it was Silver Giovanni and because Green Oak was so ridiculous and endearing in his naivety, Gold decided just this one time he wouldn't let such a he would let such a horrendous fashion statement pass him by. Plus, Silver seemed to have picked up on the terrible color scheme himself anyway. Flailing was a bonus. Gold stood by a rack of blue cardigans and slouched over, glowering at a lovey-dovey couple who passed by, but okay. Silver struggled. I know, but Silver struggled and backed away from the brunette.
Green, I told you, black and red clothes are fine. Oh, I'm talking to myself.
Gale.
But you have too much of that in your basket already. I can't do that. I don't remember what it sounded like.
But you have too much in that basket already.
Just try on this blue jacket. Please, Silver. Do it for me. Gold snorted. Green turned to raise an elegant eyebrow at him and muttered darkly, "You, young man, are next." Pain. Gold shuddered. It's not even hurting yet, but it will be. It will be.
I know.
Gold shuddered and pulled a ridiculous, sobby, kicked puppy face.
I'm so scared.
Green grinned archly. You should be.
Our two voices for those two are very similar, I realized.
Yes. Except Gale's. Green is going to be more active.
Gale!
Yeah. But these are short lines, so I can't do that yet.
You should be! I don't know.
Should be.
Anyways.
Yes. You should be. Gold sighed and dropped his act. He hated shopping. It was so fucking boring. He ran a hand through his hair and looked about. The men's section was rather drab in this corner, all grays and blues, and where is he finding these lime greens? I don't know. I
feel like I need to change Gold's deep voice to, okay, guys.
You could.
I won't. I know it.
Because you've changed red. You're changing red back.
I'm changing red to that one. Red's going to be the super stereotype. Okay. Anyways.
Gold then noticed one member of their party was missing. Red was nowhere to be seen. God, it was scary how that man could move like a freaking ninja. Ugh. One moment he was there, and the next he'd vaporized.
Oh, vanished is a word. Fun fact.
Complete with those freaky blood-scarlet eyes. And his unchanging expression. Holy crap. The amber-eyed male scowled. Now that he really thought about it, Gold really didn't want to wake up with Red staring at him in the face. He knew he may just shit himself if that ever happened. Nevertheless, if he could get Red to cooperate, he would totally try pranking someone like that. Shoving his hands deep into the faded slacks pockets. Okay, he had to admit Green's grandfather's clothes weren't that bad. They smelt of flowers, though, and whilst that pissed him off, he said nothing about it.
Okay.
Gold turned back to Green.
Yo, freak, where's Red? Green looked up sharply with a frown.
I'm sorry.
Green looked up sharply with a frown, from where he was trying to get Silver into a particularly hideous turquoise cardigan. It clashed with his foxy red hair. The handsome brunette psychologist lit up as realization dawned on him.
Why would he light up?
I don't know.
And how is this realization? Gold! It's not nice to call people freaks! And don't worry about my boyfriend, Red. not my boyfriend, the boyfriend.
My boyfriend, Red.
Don't worry about Red.
My husband, Dave.
He's probably at the pet shop. Pet shop? Silver's muffled voice came from somewhere in the cardigan as he pawed wildly trying to get out. Green hastily removed the garment. Silver appeared, looking ruffled. Gold snickered rudely and mimicked Silver's strange flail in his attempt to get out of the cardigan. Silver flipped him off. Green smacked them both.
Do you hate yourself?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, the pet shop. Red likes animals a lot. The nasty things. They just bring dirt and disease, in my opinion. He worked part-time in an animal rescue shelter, and now he's part-time for the local zoo. Feeds and grooms them. What? Okay.
Yeah.
I think when he was younger, he used to have a dog. It was a horrible, mangy, flea-ridden mongrel. Vicious, too. I heard it bit lots of people and had to be put down eventually. Gold sucked on the inside of his
Dr.
cheek.
Bruce.
Bonjour, Dr. Bruce.
Hello, I'd like to report a stray.
Gold sucked on the inside of his cheek and nodded. Right. Red seemed to him quite a delinquent back then, considering if he had had a mangy dog. Dogs were cool. Gold wanted a Rottweiler or an Alsatian. Alsatian? I don't know what to get. Alsatian. It's a type of dog. Actually, he wanted one of those mean terrier dogs, the hunting types, which could be used in illegal dog fighting rings. That'd be a Rottweiler.
Gold is super gay and trying to cover it up right now.
Yeah.
No, man, I want a vicious dog because I wasn't paying attention to the fact that cardigans don't look good on Silver. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I want a terrier because those are used in dog fighting rings.
Okay.
Terriers aren't. No. A tanned young man in flip-flops brushed past them, bumping into the amber-eyed teen by accident as he did so. Gold snapped. He's gonna beat someone up. His patience had already been wearing thin due to the fact that he was wearing flowery-scented second-hand grandpa clothes, that he had been forced to go clothes shopping with an antisocial, his annoying psychologist, and an emo ginger bitch, and all the while, stupid, pathetic people had been brushing and bumping past him for the past hour or so. Gold decided he would be vicious.
The fuck? Watch where the fuck you're going, faggot!
Ooh.
Green was mortified and tried to step in as the man turned back, squaring his shoulders anxiously. But Gold was having none of it. Shoving Green out of the way, he stepped up so he was face to face, his stance aggressive as he snarled. The stranger uneasily apologized.
Whoa, dude, I'm sorry, okay? There's no need to blow up like that. Like that.
Like that.
The man stepped back, his young tanned face pulling into an expression of alarm. Green put a hand on Gold's shoulder and hissed. Look, if you don't calm down this instant, we will get thrown out of here.
Fuck you! Oh wait, shit. Fuck you. Watch where you're walking next time, you retard. You got fucking eyes, so use them. Gold bared his teeth. I like to imagine Gold has like my physique. And he's saying these things.
Pretty much. If you've ever looked up a picture of him, he's not like a buff guy.
I just really like the idea of like a person my physique-wise being like, "Fuck you." Okay, anyways.
I'm at 99%, but I'll unplug it anyways.
Okay, anyways. Gold bared his teeth and shrugged Green off with a fierce movement and slipped away, seething. Silver watched him go. Never had he seen someone with such a short temper. Green sighed as Gold left, hoping that the violent teen wouldn't start a fight somewhere. However, knowing Gold, he would turn up in the hands of security, spitting mad. He turned to the victim of Gold's anger with a smile crossed his lips.
This is Green?
Yep.
I'm so sorry about that. He has anger issues. So brawly. What? What are you doing here in Kanto, let alone Viridian City?
Oh, Brawly's a gym leader. Okay, yeah. He's like a macho man, like, he works out.
Fake.
He's from an island.
Flip-flops. Last time I looked, your brands were Quicksilver and Billabong, not Abercrombie and Fitch. I thought Pacific Dog Town back in Hoenn was ideal for your kind of clothes. Okay. Then.
He's a Hawaiian Islander. Yeah, so as a kid with my physique, telling people to fuck off.
Gold. Oh god.
Yeah, but Brawly's like a weightlifter.
Hey, this is a better picture. Nice style. Good style.
Okay, focus. You need to read.
Took the train here, but more importantly, my mother's visiting, so I kinda need to suit up.
Stop.
Huh.
Brawley, the man who bumped into Gold, ran a hand through his blue-black hair and grinned sheepishly.
Oh! Okay. Sorry. I thought you were just...
It's fine.
Took the train, even more importantly, my mother's visiting, so I kinda need to suit up. She told me she'd get Roxanne to beat me black and blue if she turned up and I was lounging about in my surfer wear.
Took the train here, but more importantly... I don't know. That's like sad Christopher Walken.
Green nodded sagely. He knew how crazy Brawley's cousin Roxanne was. Black belt in nearly all the common martial arts.
Mary Sue.
Green himself was a master in judo,
Mary
taekwondo, and more. But even this girl, Green didn't want to admit that he had suffered a miserable and pathetic defeat to her. Small but deadly.
There's nothing wrong
But
with
hey,
being beaten by a girl.
he was a gentleman, and he didn't hit girls. No. That's not being a gentleman, that's being kind of sexist.
Yeah, in martial arts, that's being sexist.
Yeah. Roxanne begged to differ. It's good. Well then, I won't stop you from your duty to please your mother. Good luck. I'll need it. Well, in the end, I'll turn out a dress shirt and board shorts with flip-flops. What? It'll turn out a dress shirt and board shorts with flip-flops. She totally can't get Rox to beat my ass if I tried, right? Green smiled and Brawley held out his fist. Green stared at it, puzzled. Silver couldn't take Green's naivety concerning everything that he was apparently, concerning everything that was apparently, according to Crystal, well, Lyra, hip and happening anymore.
I kind of want to use the Crystal voice. Lyra, hip and happening.
You hit his fist with yours. It's called a fist bump, or a bro fist, Silver said with a deadpan. Green blinked,
just talking
still
to
highly
yourself.
confused as Brawley laughed loudly. Ha ha!
I'm so hot.
And fist bumped with the brunette psychologist. Turning to Silver, he made a sympathetic noise when he saw the redhead's broken arm. Oh, hey there, and ouch, bro.
Hey, bro.
I'm gonna go like closer to that than the other one because the other one's kind of weird and normal. I know how that feels. Put me out in a surfing tournament once, and man, that was a low blow for me because I knew I could have won. Anyway, nice seeing you, Green. You too, kid. Also, I look forward to seeing you compete in the World Tournament again this year, Green. What World Tournament? With that, the surfer disappeared through the depths of the shop. Silver turned to Green, who looked like a deer caught in the headlights. The World Tournament? What's that? Green blinked and snapped back to the present, running a hand over his face. That's me. Before tucking... Yeah, this wig does have loose strands. But before tucking a loose strand of brunette hair... behind an ear. His emerald eyes had taken on a fiery edge. A competitive fire. Silver tossed aside the horrid turquoise cardigan in disgust. He would never wear that monstrosity. It reminded him of Crystal's hair. It's a sporting event that occurs every 2 years. Every 2 years! It's all kinds of sports and the best from each region. 8 participants in total from each region. What? Okay, well, 9 if you include the champion, who is the elite sportsman / woman who participates in all the sports, whereas the 8 from major cities or towns in each region only specialize in 1. It's pretty new, and I've only been invited to 1 so far. This will be my 2nd if they want me to attend again. And if I do, I'll be representing Viridian City of Kanto. Silver nodded. So what do you specialize in? Combat sports. Stuff like boxing, fencing, karate, wrestling, etc.
Lubega.
Silver snickered. Green was such a petite person. He couldn't imagine him wrestling. Gold, on the other hand... Silver scowled. Gold, on the other hand, could definitely be seen wrestling. In fact, that's what he was doing right now outside the shop window on the pavement.
Oh, God.
Who is he wrestling? Bored, Silver tugged on Green's jacket sleeve and pointed. Green moved into action so quickly, Silver wasn't sure if he had missed the brunette moving. All he had heard before his counselor has left was, "Oh, for goodness sake!" Deciding he didn't want to miss out on the fun, Silver trailed out of the designer shop to watch the spectacle. Gold had a hooded figure pinned down and was punching the form viciously, shouting the whole time.
What, motherfucker? I can't hear you over your pathetic whining. Try to steal my wallet, you bastard? Think again. Ow, that kind of hurt my knuckles. The victim tried to say something, struggling weakly, but Gold continued his assault. His expression was of gleeful rage. This dude's a psychopath.
Yeah.
Silver wasn't sure if Gold was human or not. Send him to prison. Gold needs to be locked away. More like a demon summoned from hell. Green was on his phone and the police had arrived. Silver snickered as he watched the two men fight. Because
Green knows Taekwondo and judo.
Because Green's a Mary Sue. Well, rather, one-sided seeing as Gold was winning.
Now he's kind of a terrible person, so he's not.
As Gold was winning, turned into a brawl. Okay. Silver sat down on the shop ledge as the police finally subdued Gold. The teenager was still spitting and struggling, his knuckles bloodied and his golden eyes contracted with anger and fury. The victim was a bloody, bruised mess. Silver had to admit, whilst Gold was a vengeful and hateful person, he did have a strong sense of justice. Retributive justice, that is. Green snapped his phone shut and stared Gold down with his expression dark.
An ambulance is on the way to pick up this poor fellow. Gold, what the hell were you thinking? Gold spat. His spittle was marbled with blood. Obviously, the thief had managed to throw in a few of his own punches. Green was breathing heavily, as if trying to keep his own temper in check. Security bustled about, whilst a severe-looking woman with killer heels stepped up smartly.
I want to be the security woman with killer heels, but
this is.
I know
that's Gold.
I know, but I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be Officer Jenny. Try asking this motherfucker. He tried to steal my goddamn wallet. If you look in his jacket, there's other stuff he pinched. I did you bastards all a favor. Gold kicked the thief's body hard. Gold hissed as he was restrained further, and the unconscious victim was moved a bit away from the livid teen's rage. The woman saluted to Green, and Green, worried, turned to her. Silver wandered over to Gold, who strained at his bonds and tried to bite Silver, who reached out to tease him by petting his head. Silver jerked his hand back, mildly amused, and said,
"Bad dog." Gold growled. Green straightened his jacket up. The woman surveyed the mess critically, and then looked at Green sternly, who looked at Gold, and then back at her. "Officer."
"Good afternoon, sir. I'm Officer Jenny. Now, could you please explain to me briefly what has just occurred?"
"All I know is that my, brother, my brother here, in self-defense, fought that man who tried to steal his belongings." Silver knew Green as lying through his teeth. It was clear as day. The problem was, Green Oak was a shitty liar. The second problem was that the officer, Jenny, was not buying the lie. Green quickly knelt down beside Gold, obviously improvising. "Hey bro, why'd you hit that guy?" That sounded weird. Gold looked at Green as if he were nuts.
"I'm not your damn brother."
"Sorry, my brother is a bit confused. He took a hit to the head too hard just now. Yeah, seriously, Gold?" Silver wanted to cry. Green was so bad at this, even he could do better, and that was saying something. Gold growled, his voice thick and vicious. Obviously, he was trying his best to control his anger, seeing as he was outnumbered. He rattled his handcuffs angrily.
"He was trying to steal my wallet, so I said no. He threatened me that he had a knife. I told him to prove it. He had one, so I punched him and then we fought. I won. That's it." Gold rolled his eyes and snapped at the medical hand who had just arrived with the ambulance. Silver smacked Gold across the head as a reprimand to behave. That had felt good. Payback for when Gold had almost strangled him earlier this morning. Gold's eagle eyes were narrowed into thin slits of blazing fury. Silver smiled down at him sweetly. The medical hand, confused, looked to Silver.
"Oh, I'm his owner. He's been a naughty boy. I let him off the leash, and this is what he does." Silver grinned. The medical hand... Why do they keep calling him that?
Because they don't want to give him a name.
I guess they're British. It might be a British term.
Probably.
Hand looked so bemused, stared at Silver as if he had grown another head. Okay, that sentence. Silver ignored it, though. Mindfuckery really was the best. Hey, we just listened to that segment from the first chapter.
Yeah.
Gold did not take his objectification and his new status as Silver's pet very well. Thrashed in attempts to hurt the redhead. Okay, that sentence doesn't make sense either. Officer Jenny seemed happy enough with Gold's explanation, and turned away. Green sighed with relief. Silver sat just out of range on the floor in front of Gold, mocking him. Green cuffed them both gently over the head. Guys, stop it. You both so immature. God. Ow, this hurts.
Yeah.
I nearly lost my job right there and then, and you, Gold, would have gone back to prison with no one to bail you out. Green hissed. Silver, now bored again that... What?
No, just keep on.
Okay.
I was doing my thing.
You're just like...
I'm bored again.
I'm like, are you telling me to stop? Okay. Silver, now bored again that his fun was ruined, picked at a loose thread on his clothes. He needed something better to do. Where was the roof? Oh, is he gonna jump off? Silver had never tried throwing himself off of a building. Gold rounded on the psychologist.
Why did you say that you were my brother? I am not your brother.
I had to protect you. If I had told her that you were my client, they would take this straight to my boss, and she and I really do not get along whatsoever. Her name is Agatha. Agatha.
Agatha's old. Okay, I know what Agatha's voice is because I know she'll show up.
And I believe the reason she dislikes me, no, wants to disbowel me with a spoon, is because she has a grudge against my grandfather. I would have been fired in a heartbeat, and you, Gold, would end up in prison. Gold shut up and closed himself off. Obviously, he disliked that idea more than anything, because he'd be some dude's bitch.
He would be some dude's bitch.
Silver was surprised that Green had such an extensive... He probably was, because he said back to prison, so...
Yeah, right?
And all these characters have such terrible backstories.
Seriously.
I mean, yeah, it happens to actual people, but still. Extension of imagination. Who knew you could disembowel someone with a spoon? That's not that imaginative.
Not really, no.
Green, his nerves frayed, looked hugely relieved when Red melted out of nowhere. His expression as devoid of emotion as always. Red, with his hand shaking gently, looked down at both Silver and Gold before looking at Green, who tiredly gave a rather detailed summary. Gold got into a fight. Red spotted the thief, who was now sitting up, his face a patchwork quilt of mottled bruises. Mottled, I guess. His front teeth were missing, and now that his torso was bare, why is he not wearing a shirt? Silver could count all the
I think they might be like doing the clear.
Gold had left, and there seemed to... Well, I'm supposed to might treat wounds or whatever. See the damage, check his ribs. I don't know. Count all the welts Gold had left, and there seemed to be an intricate tattoo in bright red on his left shoulder. That's gonna be important.
He's from Team Rocket.
He's from Giovanni's.
Yep, Team Rocket.
Somehow, that tattoo design seemed familiar. The bruises looked painful. Red flinched and turned away quickly because Red took down Giovanni.
Right.
After Red X Green. No.
Right.
Green, concerned, placed a hand on his long-term patient's shoulder. There was a kind of silent communication going on, and Silver watched it play out.
Choke me, Daddy.
Red frowned and shook his head.
Well, you're just ignoring that.
His hands were fists, and his whole body was shaking, trembling like a leaf. Green squeezed his shoulder. Red let out a controlled but audibly shaky breath. His temples had a light sheen of sweat. Green made a quiet noise of comfort. What? What kind of noise of comfort would be?
Red!
Red let out a quiet sob, his shoulders shaking. Red had seen something in that thief with the tattoo that had upset him. How do you not recognize your own father's team's
right
tattoo thing when you were the bitches, the bitches gang, the bitch of the gang, supposedly, I guess.
Green did a thing.
Blah. Where was I? Green stepped back alarmed?
Yeah.
Okay. Silver then remembered Green stating that Red got very violent when upset. Motioning for Silver to move back and out of the way, Green reached down and spoke to Gold quietly and urgently. Gold chuckled and seemed to be promising Green something. Green, now less nervous, went and talked to the nearest policeman, who he argued with for a bit. Their exchanges were quick and heated. Finally, Gold's handcuffs were undone, and Gold stood, rubbing his wrists. Green stepped well out of the way, with Silver shielding the redhead slightly. Silver rolled his eyes. With Silver shielding the redhead slightly, okay. Silver rolled his eyes. This was too dramatic for his liking. Was Red really that bad? Gold stood a few feet behind the scarlet-eyed, raven-haired man.
Oh, they're gonna fight.
The descriptions. Scarlet-eyed, raven-haired man every single time.
Right?
Too far.
Sorry. No.
Oh, no.
It's right there.
Why'd you release Gold? Silver muttered sullenly. Green had gone a little pale. I thought maybe because when Red... Ow.
When Red...
That was actually painful. Kind of like a tickle, but
Yikes.
also painful. When Red did this before, I would let him vent it out. But this time I thought maybe it would be good therapy for Gold to vent his anger against Red, and vice versa. The only way Red can truly come to terms with his issues is to come head-to-head with something unmoving. I wasn't that because I'm not strong enough. Gold is. Silver scratched at his elbow. Fucking itchy casts. He hated having broken bones. Okay. Gold seemed relaxed as he waited behind Red patiently. Red turned, walked right up to Gold, and delivered a swift but ferocious punch to his gut. Gold doubled over coughing and spluttered. You're fighting yourself. Mouth open as he stared at Red. Realization dawning in his golden eyes, which had widened significantly. Green winced. Officer Jenny was back, hurrying as fast as her crazy heels would allow her.
What is going on here? Green quickly stepped up to her and stopped her before she could whip out her walkie-talkie.
Excuse us, officer. This is an experiment I am conducting. Please stand down for a while and let this play out. Experiment? Officer Jenny spluttered, her sharp eyes narrowing. Green turned to her. I am Green Oak, Professor Samuel Oak's grandson. The fight between these two men is a conducted experiment by me in order to contribute to my grandfather's research concerning male aggression. It is all under control. Okay. Silver was surprised. This is a blatant lie. But Green had breezed through without a second thought. Baffled, Officer Jenny, much to the redhead's surprise, bowed her head respectfully and stepped down, watching from a distance warily. Warily, I don't ever know. The spiky-haired brunette turned to Silver, looking uncomfortable.
It's you, it's Silver.
Okay.
Silver's talking to Green.
Yeah, okay, I'm like...
This fic is a lot of you talking to yourself.
Yeah. Why'd you lie to her? I hate using my name as a status to get what I want, but emergencies call for desperate measures. By the way, I wasn't lying, Silver. It's true. Whilst this experiment isn't exactly for my grandfather's encyclopedia on human diversity and persona, it can be added. Okay. Sorry. Sure. Silver hummed. He knew all about the great Professor Oak's enormous research from his brief time in school before he dropped out, in where he was collecting all the available data and knowledge on the human psyche, and other connected attributes and how such things come about and possibly evolve. Silver was brought back to the present to see Gold retaliate with a swift hook to Red's jaw. The pale, awkward man staggered slightly. Gold advanced, but Red blocked and twisted the amber-eyed teen to the floor. Gasping, Gold, with blazing but not with anger. What?
Oh no, Gold with massive effort.
Oh, Gold with massive effort, okay. Writhed, contorted, and bodily threw Red to the ground in a chokehold. Silver couldn't see any change in Red except his eyes and mouth. Those blood-red eyes were blazing, but not with anger.
Why are both my characters, like,
but
aggressive?
Not with anger, but with a type of battle haze.
Gold and Red are, like, the same person, except Red just keeps it in more.
Conceal, don't feel.
Right? Sorry, continue.
His mouth was set in a permanent frown of upset, as if he was incredibly sad about something. Silver could see why do they keep using whilst? Where was I? See, whilst Red was strong, he had met his match in Gold, as the lanky man delivered another set of several blows to Gold's yet again unprotected abdomen. Gold released him to fall back, panting, trying to catch his breath as his diaphragm and lungs stuttered. Red stood back. Green stepped forward. Silver interested knew that Red knew, and Gold knew himself that Gold had lost the fight. Okay. Breathing heavily, Red's shoulders drooped as he relaxed. The battle haze from his eyes had lifted. Kneeling down, he held a hand out to Gold, who grinned sardonically, and ignored the helping hand and stood up painfully himself. Green had gone very quiet. Red looked at Green and then down at his bruised hands and said quietly,
Sorry.
It's Red.
I won. I'll use my regular
I thought
voice.
you were going to be gay.
Oh, yeah. I won.
Gold laughed loudly, his voice high and shaky as he pulled his three patients together and herded them away.
I don't know. I feel like Red should just have my voice. I'm just gonna set Red at my voice because I think it works best.
What's an iPad?
When they got back to Green's apartment, both Red and Gold were sporting healthy purple and green stained bruises. Green was beside himself with worry as he shoved the two onto the sofa and hurried off to get the medical stuffs. Nice description there.
Yeah.
Gold seemed to be pretty happy about the whole ordeal. He was looking relaxed, and Red seemed to be quite content as well. In fact, it was the happiest Silver had seen the violent teenager. In fact, Silver was beginning to suspect that Gold was a sadist and a masochist, and enjoyed delivering and receiving pain. However, a snide little voice in his head remarked that he was a fine one talk, seeing as he enjoyed thinking of new ways to die by reading bunny suicides and the like. That sentence made no sense.
What was bunny suicides? What? He
jumped slightly as Green smacked down a large first aid kit.
A snide voice in his head remarked that he was a fine one to talk, seeing as he enjoyed thinking of new ways to die by reading bunny suicides and the like. It makes sense.
Okay. Smacked down a large first aid kit box in front of him.
Aid kit box.
Silver looked at Green contemptuously, who ignored the look. Green sniffed and
leaning over this way.
Wiped his eyes
if I just,
on his sleeve. Go for it. Surreptitiously.
Surreptitiously?
So you're crying. You're crying, Gale.
Those stupid boys. Silly boys. Boys. Green muttered tearfully. Silver didn't know if Green knew he was crying, but decided not to point it out. Plus, it was Green who made them fight anyway. He didn't make them. He asked Gold if he wanted to, pretty much. I don't know. He doesn't actually say. He just kind of talked to him, and he agreed to something. Blah, 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 blah. Gold was slouched across the sofa, and Red had moved from the furniture and was sitting by his feet on the floor, fiddling with the hem of the carpet? And a small smile playing on his lips. Oh, this is Green, okay. I need to go out and buy some more gauze and antiseptic. Boys, please don't kill each other in my absence. Silver grunted in acknowledgement. Green... That's me.
I know, but you're reading, so I'll do it for you.
Green picked up his keys and pulled on his jacket, his eyes slightly red, as was his nose. Clean them both up, would you? The rubbing alcohol and cotton swabs are in the first pocket on the left. That'd be wonderful. I'll be back soon. With that, and another hearty sniff, Green shuffled his way out the door and closed it with a soft click. Gold glowered at Silver. Silver opened the medical box and found the alcohol in the pocket, as Green had instructed. He poured some out into the plastic kidney dish and wordlessly picked up a cotton ball with the supplied tweezers. He winced at the medicated smell. People could get high on this stuff. Gold scooted away on the sofa slightly, eyeing Silver and the disinfectant with distaste.
Come near me with that foul-smelling stuff and I'll rip you a new asshole. Silver smiled sweetly in response and moved up onto the sofa and moved in close. Gold, massively disgusted now, wrinkled his nose at the smell and pushed Silver's hand away. Silver rolled his eyes as Gold evaded again with a grunt of revulsion. Tired, Silver reached out lightning quick and pulled Gold in by wrapping a hand around his neck before dabbing, albeit a bit roughly because he can, the soaked cotton swab on the broken skin on Gold's nose. Gold yelped and flinched. Ah!
God, for such a tough guy, you're a fucking pussy. Pusillanimous.
Problematic.
That's what it's short for.
I know.
Which means weak, not to vagina.
Okay.
Silver snapped. No, not that way. Jostling the stocky teenager crossly, fingers curling into the softer and downy, less coarse hair at the base of the other teen's neck. Silver leant in as close as he dared, so he could see what he was doing, continuing to dab the disinfectant on the wound. Gold really had thick eyelashes. ... Gold had squeezed his eyes shut, watering slightly at the sting and the smell. A soft chuckle reverberated. I never know how to pronounce that stupid word. Reverberate.
There you go.
That's the one. I'm like, I read words, but I'm like, most people never actually use these words in sentences. Reverberated. Stop that. Okay. It's not. It's a back massage.
Close enough.
True.
Pleasantly
like a warm cat's purr throughout the living room, and both looked to see Red sitting at their feet, watching them with his trademark small smile, flushing slightly as he realized the semi-intimate position he was in. Can you stop, man? Silver quickly drew away from Gold, who winced again and picked up a fresh swab and dipped it, coating it. Gold shied away as Silver treated the graze on his jaw. Silver, amused, stopped. Gold cracked an eye open.
What are you looking at, Ginger?
It's Silver. Silver dabbed the spot, jabbing it slightly. Gold hissed.
Watch it!
I will until you call me by my name. I will.
Okay.
Gold sulked. Silver shrugged. Okay. Gold really did like pain. He jabbed the graze again, running the cotton over it with no care whatsoever. Gold had set his jaw, and Red just fiddled with the fraying carpet, watching them both owlishly before gesturing to Silver to continue his assault. The mini-battle continued, with Silver moving onto Gold's raw, bloody knuckles, washing the cuts and scrapes with a damp cloth, and then applying the disinfectant. Gold sat throughout stubbornly, refusing to acknowledge Silver. Finally, Silver twisted the alcohol-saturated swab into one of the deeper cuts on Gold's hands, when Gold hissed out,
"Fine, you win, Silver!"
You need to read.
Silver smirked and released his iron grip on the amber-eyed teen. They're all described by their eye color.
Yes, all
which
the
happens
time.
to be what their name is based on.
Literally.
Scowling, Gold sat back, shaking his stinging hand. Red had acquired his orange juice and had been slowly sipping it as he watched the mini-drama.
When did he leave to get orange juice?
I mean, no, every time's a good time for orange. I want orange juice now.
Well, we have some, but,
yes!
when did he leave to get the orange juice?
You know, while they were fighting.
They described him watching it.
While you were, like, straddling me.
But he was watching it. They said that multiple times.
I know. Silver raised his eyebrows at Gold, who growled quietly. "You're a fucking psycho. It's like you have super strong hands or something. Jesus."
Hands. Strong hands.
Jesus.
Oh, God, Jesus. Oh.
Christmas.
Yeah, got our Christmas special.
Oh, it's me.
Yes, you're
Wow,
so...
I'm so good at my job, guys. Silver shrugged and turned to Red, who held his hands out obediently like a naughty child. Tearing open a new pack of swabs, Silver set about cleaning the older male's wounds, Gold watching silently for a while before speaking up. "Seriously, I don't get you."
"What's not to get?" Silver replied quietly, not looking at him as he concentrated on Red's hands. Gold scratched his head and thought for a while. Then he gestured with his hands wildly, as if the motions would somehow enable him to get his point across better. That's enough of that. In Silver's opinion, it made him look idiotic. Red said nothing during his treatment. His hands twitched ever so slightly through, though. His blood-red eyes searching both their faces like a small child trying to seek answers as he watched his parents fight. We're so close to the end.
"You are so weird. I don't understand you. One moment you hate the world and shit, and then you're all smiley and stuff. God, you're weird. It pisses me off."
Everything pisses you off.
That's me.
Oh, it is you.
Everything pisses you off.
Why is Red joining the conversation?
Red said simply.
That was strange.
"Everything pisses you off." I still like Toe, but it's too much like Ruby.
Yeah, although
Red
Ruby's
said
not
simply,
actually
I
in here all
know.
that much, so it could work.
Red said simply, standing up and picking up his juice carton to throw out as Silver finished his last cut and began to clear away the medical supplies. Silver stared at Gold, who for once did not make any kind of negative expression, but stared back in neutral.
Oh, excuse me. I was smiling just now? Silver asked, inwardly genuinely surprised. Had he been that happy that he had finally won and Gold had said his name? Gold nodded. Silver pondered over this new revelation. What did I look like? Gold spluttered, looking indignant, his eyes widening in shock.
God, as if you couldn't get any more queer. Dude, that is the singular gayest thing I have ever heard a guy say.
Asking what I looked like when I was smiling?
What about, like, will you suck my dick, YN?
You were the one watching me.
Yeah, well, Gold dwindled to a halt. He actually had nothing else to say to that one. He had been watching Silver's facial expression closely as he... Yeah, well...
That was a lot. That was spit.
Sean Connery.
As he worked.
Lay titch now. I fucked your mother, Trebek. Sorry. He had been watching Silver's facial expression closely as he worked on Red, and found that the small smile breaching the redhead's face was quite endearing.
Gay.
Gold colored at his own mental processes and crossed his arms and said gruffly, "You looked friendly."
What?
Silver actually stopped and looked over his shoulder at Gold and decided maybe he didn't hate him so much. Gold was looking mutinous.
This is you still.
Never ever make me say something so fucking gay ever again. Got it? I'm not gay.
Yes, you are.
He is gay. You're gay, too. Have you seen the photo set where it's like, Mom, I'm not gay. I have a girlfriend. You're gay, Tim. Have you ever seen that one? I'll have to show you sometime. It's really funny. Okay, continue. The quip was strange to Silver, and he just shook his head. Cold was the weird one.
This is gonna happen. You keep telling yourself that. Who knows? Maybe one day you and I'll end up getting married and have 7 kids. They're gonna have 7 kids now.
Embreg.
Maybe not that. I'm so glad Redneck Screen didn't turn into that, though. Remember?
We were really scared.
We were like, oh god, because they're gonna have Gold as a son. They had Gold as a son?
What voice is this one?
I don't know.
Okay,
Silver
sorry.
chuckled to himself as he heard Gold kick over the coffee table in his disgust. Gold sat back on the sofa, grinding his teeth. What the fuck? Silver was a fucking faggot. Holy shit. Gold paled as he realized he had to sleep in the same damn bed as the redhead. Gold was then contemplating the safety of his virginity. He's a virgin? I thought he was raped earlier, didn't they say?
I thought so too.
And wondered if he could just sleep in the bathroom or something. Red came back and righted the table, looking at Gold in a patronizing sort of manner, as if to say, seriously, don't kick the table over next time. Gold jutted out his chin in response.
Am I invited to your wedding? Red muttered as he picked up some fallen magazines. Gold let out a noise of disgust and lashed out with a foot at Red, who avoided it with ease. Red, with his arms full, stood up and winked at Gold. His face was still expressionless, making the action a bit unnerving. I was teasing you. Gold groaned and let his head fall back on the couch. Then he remembered Green's rule about hairs all over the couch and quickly sat up again. Fuck. He buried his face in his hands. These people were not having a positive effect on him. If anything, an antisocial and a suicidal should have been having anything but that. Defeated for the day and his pride marginally wounded, Gold stood and decided to hole himself up in the room he was to share with Silver.
The end of the chapter.
The end.
The end.
All right. Hey, everybody.
Pink,
that was
purplish,
chapter 3.
Pink, purplish.
That was chapter 3. How you feeling about this fic? That's my titty.
I know.
Your hand is right on my boob.
Yeah, I realized.
So, yeah. How you feeling about this fic? How you doing right now?
He's less, like, over the top depressed. Like, angry at the world and depressed and stuff.
We're gonna need to look back and see if Gold was raped at some point, because I'm pretty sure that Green, like, let it slip that he was.
Yeah, he said that he thought he was or something.
Something like that.
But Gold is saying he sells his virginity, unless he's like, yeah, rape is not virginity taking-ish thing. I don't know.
I guess we'll see what they mean by that.
But then that's saying that he thinks it would be willing if he did it with
Exactly. Oh my god, yes. So, we're going to be join us next week as we move on to chapter 4 and maybe 5 depending on the length of chapter 4. But we'll see. We'll see when the time comes. So join us next week for the next part of Clockwork here on Fanfiction Friday. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like. Subscribe if you haven't already, because we have awesome new content coming out every week. And if you have a fic you'd like us to read, leave it down below. We'll read it, because what else do we do with our lives? Yeah, that's a thing. Anyways, thanks for watching, you guys. Stay awesome. Read more smut. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm waiting. Yeah, I do it too. Okay, thank you.